of mathematics which deals with and studies the properties, measurements, and relations of lines, angles, surfaces, and solids. Because our world is made up of a vast assortment of these objects having an unlimited variety of shapes and sizes, a working knowledge of geometry has become a vital necessity for everyone. Whether we realize it or not, each one of us has been in contact with geometry since the time of our birth. One of our first dwelling places was probably one of these rectangular prisms. Our first meal from a bottle, shaped like a cylinder. As we grew and developed, more and more geometrical forms entered our lives in new and fascinating ways. Wonderful though they are, the years of childhood tick away, and as they do, our experiences and concepts begin to change. Form and proportion, or size, begin to have new meaning. There comes an age when even the wonderland of nature can be seen as a fascinating assortment of variations on the circle, the triangle, the square. If we train our eyes to observe, we may see geometric designs we have never noticed before. And so it goes. Again and again, we find nature to be a miracle of geometric harmony and design. But this is true of the entire physical universe. What are you interested in? Sports? Without the sphere, many of our favorite pastimes would be non-existent. Without wheels, tubes, and cylinders, the hot rod would belong to yet another age. Think of where rock and roll would be without the circular platter, or hi-fi without the roll of magnetic tape. How many variations on the circle and the square can be found in an amusement park? All of these things that are made for fun require a knowledge of solid geometry in their manufacture. This is a highly technical civilization. Everywhere we look, we find application of geometric principles, utilization of various shapes and designs. Geometry has become an indispensable tool of mankind. It is used constantly by the builder, the engineer, the craftsman, and the principal key to tomorrow's development is here in the student, in the classroom, today. It is here that we start with simple concepts. We build a foundation for tomorrow's understanding of the more complex. We may have learned, for example, that a point can be represented by a dot, even though it is thought of as having neither length, width, nor thickness. We may also have learned that a line is a succession of points, or a set of points. If two points are located on a line, the part of the line between them is called a line segment and is spoken of as having one dimension, or length. If we draw two lines from a single point, we form an angle. If we add yet another line, in this manner, we obtain a figure which lies in a plane. The lines have become sides, and our figure, a triangle. In much the same manner, we draw quadrilaterals, pentagons, hexagons, octagons, yes, even circles. We call the study of these figures plane geometry. We become familiar with such terms as circumference, diameter, radius, chord, tangent, segment, sector, concentric circles. All of these figures may be drawn on a flat surface or plane and are often referred to as two-dimensional figures. Now let us consider figures which are found in space. Instead of circles, we will now consider spheres, cones, and cylinders. Instead of triangles, pyramids. Instead of squares and various polygons, we will now consider cubes, prisms, and other polyhedrons. These are sometimes known as figures in three dimensions, or figures in space, or merely solids. We call the study of such figures solid geometry. With a knowledge of solid geometry, we can better evaluate and make use of the physical world around us. Remember the question they used to ask you when you were just a little tyke? What are you going to be when you grow up? Well, it's about time to start thinking seriously about it. What are you going to be? An engineer? A chemist? An architect? Perhaps you'll be a farmer. A test pilot. Regardless of what you do, you'll find that almost daily there is need for the application of some geometric principle. If you as a student can see and understand this now, the subject of solid geometry will contain the challenge of a lifetime. By mastering the subject, you'll be claiming for yourself a greater appreciation of form and size, a better understanding of the shapes that make for progress.